In 2025, President Ibrahim Traoré stands at the forefront of a bold transformation in Burkina Faso's foreign policy. His leadership reflects a strong shift away from dependence on former colonial powers and a clear movement toward sovereignty, dignity, and strategic independence. Traoré's vision is centered on building alliances that serve the interests of the Burkinabe people, alliances rooted in mutual respect, regional solidarity, and national pride. Rather than following outdated global power dynamics, Traoré is forging a new path, partnering with countries like Russia for military resilience, China for development cooperation, and African neighbors like Ghana, Chad, Mali, and Niger for regional unity through the Alliance of Sahel States (AES). His foreign policy is unapologetically pan-African, bold, and focused on reclaiming control over the nation's destiny. Greater than, as he says, "We are not against anyone, but we are for our people, our land, and our freedom." If you found this insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on African leadership, geopolitics, and strategic shifts shaping the future. Your support helps amplify these important conversations. 1. Major international partners. President Ibrahim Traoré's foreign policy in 2025 reflects a deliberate pivot toward partnerships that enhance Burkina Faso's sovereignty, security, and development, free from the pressures of neo-colonial influence. His administration has carefully chosen allies who align with this vision, focusing on cooperation that is strategic, respectful, and rooted in mutual benefit. A. Russia. Military backbone and strategic influence. Under President Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso has cultivated a robust and increasingly significant partnership with Russia, which serves as a key pillar in the country's security strategy. This alliance represents a strategic shift from traditional Western alliances, particularly with former colonial powers like France, and signals Burkina Faso's desire for greater autonomy in both defense and foreign policy. 1. Strengthening national defense. The most prominent aspect of Burkina Faso's relationship with Russia is centered around military cooperation. Facing escalating security threats from jihadist insurgencies in the Sahel, Traoré's government has prioritized building a stronger, self-reliant military. Russia, as an emerging military power in Africa, has become an invaluable partner in this effort. Arms supply. Russia has become a primary supplier of modern weapons and military equipment. This includes small arms, vehicles, and more sophisticated weaponry to enhance Burkina Faso's defensive capabilities. Training and advisory support. In addition to supplying arms, Russia has deployed military advisors and trainers to Burkina Faso, notably through paramilitary forces like the Bear Brigade. These paramilitary units are reported to assist in training the Burkinabe Special Forces, providing expertise in counter-terrorism operations, intelligence gathering, and unconventional warfare tactics. Joint operations. There have been reports of joint operations between Russian mercenaries and Burkinabe forces in the field, particularly in regions facing extremist threats. This cooperation helps to build a more capable and independent defense structure, reducing Burkina Faso's reliance on foreign military actors such as France and the European Union. 2. Diversification of military alliances. For Traoré, the partnership with Russia is not just about military support, it also represents a deeper diversification of Burkina Faso's international relations. The historical dependency on former colonial powers for defense assistance, especially France, has been a point of contention in recent years, particularly after the French withdrawal from Mali and other regional tensions. By aligning with Russia, Traoré is asserting Burkina Faso's independence in its foreign and defense policies. Sovereignty in military decisions. The shift toward Russian military cooperation aligns with Traoré's broader goals of reclaiming national sovereignty and reducing Western influence in Burkina Faso's security sector. This relationship offers Burkina Faso more freedom of action in dealing with its security challenges, without the constraints often imposed by traditional Western alliances. Russia's role in African geopolitics. Russia's growing influence in Africa is seen as an attempt to expand its footprint across the continent, and Burkina Faso's partnership is part of this broader geopolitical strategy. Moscow's military engagements in countries like Libya, the Central African Republic, and Mali showcase its ambition to become a key player in African security affairs. For Burkina Faso, this offers an opportunity to align with a global power that has shown increasing interest in strengthening ties with African nations. 3. Long-term strategic partnership. Looking ahead, the military relationship between Burkina Faso and Russia is expected to evolve into a long-term strategic partnership. Russia, in turn, views Burkina Faso's location in the heart of West Africa as strategically valuable. A stable and friendly Burkina Faso enhances Russia's influence in the Sahel region, which is seen as an area of increasing importance for global security. Economic and infrastructure cooperation. While military cooperation is the cornerstone of the relationship, there are indications that Russia may expand its engagement with Burkina Faso in the future to include economic and infrastructure projects. This could involve mining ventures, energy partnerships, and trade deals that would further solidify the bilateral ties. Conclusion. The relationship with Russia represents a critical pillar in Burkina Faso's defense strategy, empowering the country to stand strong against regional security threats while asserting its autonomy on the global stage. Through military cooperation, training, and arms supply, Russia helps to build a self-reliant military for Burkina Faso that is capable of addressing both domestic and regional challenges. This strategic alliance is a clear signal of Traoré's commitment to sovereignty, security, and independence, aligning with a vision for Burkina Faso that is free from historical dependencies. B. China. Economic powerhouse and development partner. As part of his broader strategy to diversify Burkina Faso's international alliances and reduce dependency on traditional Western powers, President Ibrahim Traoré has significantly strengthened ties with China, positioning the country as a central player in Burkina Faso's economic and developmental future. China's growing role in Africa, and especially in the Sahel, presents an opportunity for Burkina Faso to secure infrastructure development, economic investment, and long-term strategic cooperation. 1. Infrastructure development and investment. One of the most tangible outcomes of the Burkina Faso-China partnership has been the expansion of infrastructure projects. With China's expertise and vast resources, several key sectors in Burkina Faso's infrastructure have been significantly enhanced. Roads and transportation. China has played a vital role in funding and constructing major road networks across Burkina Faso. These roads are crucial not only for domestic connectivity but also for regional trade and security. Improved infrastructure helps in the movement of goods and people, facilitating economic growth and regional integration. Energy and utilities. Energy shortages have been a consistent challenge for Burkina Faso, limiting its economic growth and development. China, through its state-owned enterprises, has invested in energy infrastructure projects, including hydropower stations and solar energy projects, aimed at addressing energy needs while also contributing to Burkina Faso's long-term sustainability goals. Construction and housing. Chinese companies have been involved in the construction of housing projects, public buildings, and critical facilities such as hospitals and schools, making significant contributions to improving living standards for the Burkinabe population. 2. Economic investment and trade relations. Beyond infrastructure, China is also positioning itself as an economic powerhouse in Burkina Faso. Trade between the two countries has steadily increased, with China offering Burkina Faso access to both capital and technology that the country may have struggled to secure through other channels. Trade growth. China has become one of Burkina Faso's most important trade partners. Exports from Burkina Faso to China, particularly in sectors such as minerals, agriculture, and textiles, have seen notable growth. At the same time, China's imports into Burkina Faso have brought much-needed consumer goods, technology, and machinery, contributing to a more diverse economy. Investment in key sectors. Chinese companies have shown particular interest in Burkina Faso's mining sector, including investments in gold extraction and other mineral resources. This partnership offers both economic growth and access to Chinese technology, know-how, and financing, while also allowing China to secure raw materials for its expanding industrial sector. 3. The Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) and Burkina Faso's role. Burkina Faso's integration into China's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) further cements its relationship with China and provides access to a global network of infrastructure and trade. The BRI aims to enhance global trade routes and foster economic development through investments in transportation, energy, and communication infrastructure. Connectivity and regional integration. Through the BRI, Burkina Faso gains access to better transportation networks and connectivity, not just within the country, but also with neighboring nations. This will facilitate trade and regional integration in West Africa, boosting the overall competitiveness of Burkina Faso in the global market. Financial assistance. Through the BRI, China also provides significant loans and financial aid, helping Burkina Faso fund ambitious development projects without being tied to the traditional Western loan structures that often come with political and economic conditions. 4. Diplomatic cooperation and multilateral engagement. While economic cooperation is central to the relationship, Burkina Faso's diplomatic engagement with China extends beyond just trade and development. In recent years, China has become a prominent player in multilateral forums such as the United Nations and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation (FOCAC). Burkina Faso's participation in these forums allows the country to be part of broader African-China dialogues, where important discussions on trade, security, technology transfer, and climate change take place. Forum on China-Africa Cooperation (FOCAC). Burkina Faso is expected to attend the 2025 FOCAC summit, where it will be able to forge further agreements with China on trade, infrastructure, and capacity building. FOCAC serves as a platform for Burkina Faso to secure additional funding for development projects, as well as forge new economic ties across the African continent and with China. UN and multilateral diplomacy. China's influence in international diplomacy, especially through its permanent seat on the UN Security Council, provides Burkina Faso with an opportunity to align with one of the world's most powerful nations in key global discussions, further solidifying its diplomatic strategy of diversification. 5. A partnership based on mutual respect and non-interference. A core aspect of Burkina Faso's relationship with China is the principle of non-interference in domestic affairs. China has long adhered to a policy of non-interference in the internal politics of the nations it partners with, which resonates strongly with Traoré's government. This allows Burkina Faso to engage with China on its own terms, without the political conditionalities that often accompany Western aid or assistance. A vision for Africa's future. China's approach to development cooperation is built around the idea of a win-win scenario, where both parties benefit equally from their partnership. This resonates with Traoré's vision for Africa, particularly Burkina Faso, where development can happen on terms that are aligned with local needs, without foreign imposition.